Charles Leclerc may still wear the smile of Ferrari's golden boy, but beneath that polished exterior lies a driver quietly suffocating under the weight of his team's recurring failures. Despite Ferrari holding second place in the Constructors Championship, the Hungarian Grand Prix served as yet another brutal reminder of a team that continues to sabotage its own potential, and a team seemingly trapped in a never-ending saga of wasted brilliance since 2008. Now, according to insider reports, there's growing pressure on Leclerc to wake up from the romantic illusion. The message is becoming louder behind the scenes. Stop dreaming, start making choices. And from what's emerging inside the Ferrari camp, it appears Leclerc might finally be ready to listen. Hungary was meant to be Ferrari's grand comeback. Charles Leclerc had lit up qualifying with a blistering lap that secured a stunning pole position. It was classic Leclerc, fearless, flawless, and fast. But when the lights went out on race day, so too did Ferrari's shot at redemption. As the checkered flag waved, Leclerc was nowhere near the top three, or even close. What followed was a now tragically familiar meltdown. Leclerc's pace collapsed in the final stint, beginning around lap 40, not because of strategy alone, but due to a previously unidentified chassis issue that rendered the car undrivable. He fell behind by as much as 2 seconds per lap. But after the race, Leclerc revised his tone upon receiving more data from his team. What he initially blamed on Ferrari's management, he reattributed to the chassis failure, not strategic missteps. In true Ferrari style, the Tifosi were left shaking their heads over what felt like a red-clad tragedy. Leclerc, still loyal under intense scrutiny, faced the media with his trademark poise, though the adage of trusting the process seems more like a blueprint for defeat dressed up in red. Speaking to La Gazzetta dello Sport, Jacques Villeneuve openly questioned how much longer Charles Leclerc can continue prioritizing loyalty over logic. The years are passing for him as for his colleagues, Villeneuve stated bluntly. They all have to make wise decisions for their future. Being 27 isn't retirement age, but it is the crossroad. It's the point where a driver must decide if they're chasing podiums and titles, or just content being a paddock fixture with potential. Leclerc's emotional commitment to Ferrari, especially his often repeated belief that one title with the prancing horse is worth several anywhere else, didn't quite sit right with the 1997 world champion. That's a nice message for his team and his fans, Villeneuve continued, but I don't think it's true. A real racing driver wants to win above all else. That's the only thing that interests him. Leclerc's emotional radio messages have become a fixture of race weekends, almost a subplot of their own. His calm, polished exterior away from the track is increasingly at odds with the frustration boiling over in the cockpit. Whether he's stranded on worn-out tyres or watching rivals undercut him into oblivion, Ferrari's strategy department continues to hand him fresh reasons to question why he ever signed that 5-year extension. Yes, Leclerc is locked in with Ferrari until 2029, a deal heralded by some as a bold vote of confidence and by others as a desperate leap of faith. But if things continue down this path, he might need more than patience. He might need therapy. Jacques Villeneuve is already calling out the illusion. To achieve this with Ferrari when so many other champions have failed to do so is even better, he admitted. But the main interest of a sportsman is always victory. Leclerc isn't the only one staring down a career crossroads. The 2025 grid is full of drivers balancing ambition with reality, each navigating the razor's edge between what is and what could be. Lando Norris, for one, is finally living up to the hype, and McLaren has handed him the car to match. After years of being the nearly man, Norris is now a weekly contender, racking up wins and proving that McLaren's resurgence isn't a fluke, it's a full-blown takeover. The Woking outfit has emerged as the benchmark for performance and consistency in 2025, and Norris is thriving under the pressure. But even in the glow of victory, the question lingers: how long can McLaren keep the momentum? George Russell, meanwhile, remains a curious case. Fast, absolutely. Hungry, no doubt. But Mercedes continues to look like a team in transition rather than domination. The flashes of brilliance are there, but so are the inconsistencies. Russell is left fighting an uphill battle, not against the grid, but against the limitations of machinery that can't seem to keep up with the frontrunners. He's committed, vocal, and ready, but waiting for Mercedes to catch up. And then there's Max Verstappen, still the titan of this era, still adding to his win tally, but doing so in a different climate. The political storm that shook Red Bull earlier this year, most notably the fallout from Christian Horner's departure, did rattle the foundations. For a moment, uncertainty loomed over Verstappen's future. The media buzzed with whispers linking him to to Mercedes, fueling speculation of a seismic shift in the driver market. But now, that noise has gone quiet. Verstappen has reaffirmed his commitment to Red Bull for the 2026 season, putting an end to the rumours, at least for now. Yet amid all these stories, it's Leclerc's journey that carries the most emotional weight. Because unlike Norris, he doesn't have a winning car. Unlike Russell, he doesn't have a team slowly building back to its best. And unlike Verstappen, he isn't adding to a trophy cabinet. He's watching dust settle in. Leclerc's talent has never been in question. His speed, his polish, his ability to rise in pressure-packed moments, they all scream champion. But he's still waiting for a team that can match his fire, still holding out hope that Ferrari's eternal rebuild will finally end. If Charles Leclerc decides to cut ties with Ferrari, the natural question is, where would he go? The top seats in Formula One don't come with a vacant sign very often, and right now most of them are firmly bolted down. Mercedes, for instance, may appear to have a seat available, but it's no secret they're holding out hope for a Verstappen miracle, if and when the Dutchman ever grows tired of Red Bull's internal chaos. Until then, any talk of Leclerc sliding into that garage remains wishful thinking. Over at McLaren, forget it. That door's closed, double-locked, and guarded by Zak Brown himself. Oscar Piastri and Lando Norris are locked in as long-term assets, McLaren's ultimate power duo. They're not just signed, they're secured like legendary Pokémon cards in a collector's vault. As for Aston Martin, Fernando Alonso is still gripping his seat with the stubborn tenacity of a two-time world champion who believes, perhaps justifiably, that his third title is still within reach. Until someone physically removes him, or he decides to walk away, which, let's be honest, could take a while, that seat isn't going anywhere either. Red Bull, it remains a fortress built for Max Verstappen. The car, the team, the entire structure, it all revolves around him. And yet, behind the paddock smiles and PR statements, there's movement, whispers in the hospitality suites, glances exchanged in briefings. Insider chatter suggests Leclerc's camp has begun quietly testing the waters, sending feelers across the grid to gauge interest. While no one's confirming anything publicly, the idea of an early exit from Ferrari is no longer just fantasy, it's gaining momentum. The dilemma is brutal. Staying with Ferrari still earns him admiration from purists and loyalists, the kind of unwavering devotion that immortalizes drivers in tifosi folklore. But history is a cruel judge. Formula One is not a sport that hands out gold stars for loyalty, and the archives are littered with names who became myths for the wrong reasons. Think Stirling Moss, often dubbed the greatest driver never to win a world title, or Jean Alesi, raw talent, fearless spirit, and yet forever remembered as a tragic romantic figure in red, glorious, gifted, and ultimately forgotten in the championship record books. That's the path Leclerc risks treading, because no matter how good you are, if you waste your prime years in a team that can't decide whether to pit or panic, you don't end up a legend. You end up a documentary footnote, narrated by David Coulthard in a somber tone. If you were in Leclerc's shoes, would you stay loyal to Ferrari and chase glory the hard way, or would you walk away now and fight for a title somewhere else while there's still time? Let us know in the comments. Until next time, goodbye for now.